I'm going to be starting with a book that I have read in the past that helped me along my spiritual journey, and I'm hoping that it helps you guys as well, because you did ask for me to do a video on the different books. So I'm going to try to break up each individual book within separate videos, and then you guys can decide whether or not you feel like it kind of fits where you are on your own personal journey, because all of us will be somewhere different. So in this video, I am going to be covering the book, pretty much the Kybalion and Ancient Future. I feel like they're pretty much one and the same. However, Ancient Future goes into a little bit more depth. Here go a picture of the book right here for you guys. And the Kybalion, of course, and that's by the 3 initiates. And you guys, I've been really downloading my books to my phone, so you could do the audible version. However, now that I'm even more further along on my journey, for me personally, I wish I would have purchased the physical books. So I have actually went back and purchased the physical books as well, because I would like to put those in my library. So I am going to be doing some screen sharing within this video. I do want to go over a couple vocabulary words, because these are the type of words that I felt like when I seen these words, it made me quite uncomfortable, especially considering myself as a Christian at some point. So I want to give you guys a couple of vocabulary words. And that first word that we're going to go over is the word occult. It's to shut off from view or exposure. Next definition for occult says not revealed or secret. Number 2 is not easily apprehended or understood. In all thy getting, get understanding. Okay? Number 3 is hidden from view or concealed. Number 4 is of relating to the occult. Astrology, palmistry, card reading, occult practices. So the next vocabulary word that I want to give you guys is the word esoteric. Okay? Means suitable to be imparted to the public. Okay, be belonging to the outer or less initiated circle. Come on now, let's think about these little memes that went around on Instagram when people say, you know, you can't sit with us. You think about the inner circle or being in a certain circle, you know, with basketball wives, how they be like, oh, they ain't in my circle and stuff like that. Exoteric means belonging to the outer or less initiated circle. Okay, let's going back to the word occult. Meaning what? Hidden knowledge, beyond view, behind the wall. I don't believe that all of the word will be put inside of one simple book, okay, that we call the Bible. And you think about exoteric knowledge, this is what we have been given. That means that they have dictated the information that we get to obtain. Okay, that's why they don't teach you this type of stuff in school. They're not going to teach you this type of stuff inside of a church building. Okay, this is stuff that you have to have the natural longing for inside of yourself, because the kingdom is inside of you. Okay, inside of us. So when you tap into that energy inside of yourself, this is when this journey starts to begin. Now let's move to the next word, which is esoteric. It says designed for or understood by the specially initiated alone. Let me read that again. Designed for or understood by the specially initiated alone. That means only this group of people. B, requiring or exhibiting knowledge that is restricted to a small group. Remember I said that top 2%, or, you know, we thinking that we all have these different levels that we're against each other, when it's really 1 against 2. So this small group against everybody else, pretty much, okay? I'm getting excited. So limited to a small circle. And then 3 says of special, rare, or unusual interest. Esoteric means the information that is not shared with the public. This is only given to a small group of people. So they know all of these things. They have all of this knowledge, but it's only shared amongst this group. Let me try to break these 2 words down so you can apply it to yourself, and you can understand when you would use these words or what they really mean if the definitions given aren't really comprehending. Okay, so think about meeting a guy. Okay, so if you're meeting a guy, normally the information that you receive from him on the first date, the first month, that's exoteric knowledge. This is what somebody is willing. It don't even have to be a man. If you're a male watching my video and we're thinking about a female, The information that she's giving you or he's giving you in this small amount of time, this is what they don't mind sharing to any and everybody, okay? They'll tell any and everybody this. The person who gets the exoteric knowledge of that person is what they share only with a small group. So maybe only their family members know, or maybe only their mom or their sister know this specific information about them. That's the difference between exoteric and exoteric. So you want that esoteric knowledge when you're dealing with somebody in a relationship. I'm going to skip to the introduction of Ancient Future. However, as I previously stated, you guys can go with either the Kybalion or you can go with Ancient Future. I just personally want to do this video using Ancient Future because I feel like it's more in depth. And it says the principles, now this is from the Kybalion. The principles of truth are 7. He who knows this understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temples fly open. And that's from the Kybalion. Okay, so before the dawn of the present era was a period known to the ancient historians as the world before the flood. Much of what the Western world knows of this period comes through biblical tradition. A passage from Genesis 6:4, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Speak of this area which predated the great flood associated in the biblical tradition with Noah. This and several other biblical phrases alluded to the fact that the races of the earth during this age were truly omnipotent or godlike in every way. Mythological tradition holds that during this before the flood period was born the great Egyptian sage Tahuti or Thoth. Tahuti, known to the Greeks as Hermes or Thoth, became the principal lawgiver of Egypt, or in the tongue of the Africans of that land, Kemet, or pronounced K-E-M-E-T. His axioms provided humanity with a comprehensive analysis of the nature of creation and of the universe. Throughout the text of this book, the names Tahuti, Thoth, Hermes are used interchangeably. So when you think about the god Hermes in Greek mythology, they actually took that whole idea from Africa, okay? From Egypt. And Hermes is really pretty much a fraudulent a fraudulent character, which is really Tahuti. So they pretty much changed the names. That's why this name is used interchangeably within the Kybalion, or if you research this online, that's why you see those different names. Okay, so I want to read one more insert, and I'm going to share it on the screen with you guys as well before we go into this relating to things you may have already read in the Bible. Okay, so this says Tahuti is the personification of universal wisdom and truth. Egyptian tradition holds that he imparted this truth first to the old race, the Kushite. You've read about the Kushites in the Bible, who would later be identified by the Greeks as the Ethiopians. The Greeks, who considered Tahuti or Thoth the scribe of the gods, who would also change his name to Hermes, the thrice great, the great, the greatest great, and master of masters. With the spread of Western influence, this appellation remained globally intact, and Tahuti's teachings have become known as the Hermetic philosophy. Okay? The reason why I wanted to read that part, remember in my previous video how I was telling you guys the Eye of Haru, how they said like in the Greek language, the word Christian meant RX, meaning like what you see on your prescriptions, RX, the medical field, healing, cures, and stuff like that. It's actually the Eye of Haru. So you see where they took that from. And now pretty much in this book, where if you read about Tahuti, it's telling you that the Greek also took Tahuti, his knowledge, what he stood for, and changed it into the Greek god Hermes. Okay, one more. The Hermetic teachings are found in all lands among all religions, but are never identified with any particular creed or religious sect, thus rising above them all. The ancient mystery systems were imparted to India and Persia by their indigenous inhabitants, but degenerated with the influx of the Aryans and Indo-Iranians. In time, they were lost, a result of the merging of theology and philosophy, when teachers became pagan priests who aspired for power amidst religious superstition, cults, and creeds. So that paragraph is just him stating how all of these things became mixed amongst each other, where you could find his teachings in every single religion. Okay, how I was talking about exoteric and esoteric knowledge. So you can find all of this information in every religion. We talked about that in the previous video. This is what he's explaining in this book. And again, this is why I personally am saying, especially if you feel like you get stuck or things don't really come to you easily, you could choose either the Kybalion or you could choose Ancient Future. Ancient Future to me goes into more detail, and that's really why I really love this book. I probably will read it a couple of times. Okay, so let me go into reading a couple of things that I feel like once I read it and you hear it, you'll probably be able to see in your mind where you have heard this before within the Bible. This is the vision of Hermes, or Tahuti, or thought. I'm not going to read into detail. I'm going to leave that part for you guys. I want to skip forward to pretty much the creation of man, because he asks about the mysteries of the world. I, thy God, am the light and the mind which were before substance, was divided from spirit, and darkness from light. And the world which appeared as a pillar of flame out of the darkness is a son of God, born of the mystery of the mind. The name of that word, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Y'all remember that verse? Okay, let's go back to this. The name of that word is reason. Reason is the offspring of thought, and reason shall divide the light from the darkness and establish truth in the midst of the waters. Now, when I read this, I kind of read this several times because it started to remind me of several things, not just verses that I read in the Bible, but it says reason is pretty much the offspring of thought. What I say, those who have an ear, let them hear. And he said, truly I tell you, there are those who wish to see as you see and do not see, and hear as you hear but do not hear. So when I was reading this in this book and it said reason is the offspring of thought and it will separate light and darkness, that's what came to me within here. Now if you read it, or if you have already read this book and something else came to mind, don't mind sharing it down in the comment section, because I get truly excited. Reason is the offspring of thought, and reason shall divide the light from the darkness and establish truth in the midst of the waters. That's why I said that. Establish truth. This is your separation from what you have been taught all your life to now you're being led to something totally different. And you may not understand why you're being led there, but you're being spiritually led there. As you read further, understand, O Hermes, and meditate deeply upon the mystery. So it is that divine light that dwells in the midst of mortal darkness, and ignorance cannot divide them. The union of the world and the mind produces that mystery which is called life. Learn deeply of the mind and its mystery, for therein lies the secret of immortality. I'm not going to keep reading further. I want you guys to pick up this book if this kind of resonates with you, if it's speaking to your spirit. Go pick up this book. Whichever book that you choose, they pretty much say the same exact thing. However, Ancient Future is a little bit more detailed in my personal opinion. But if your spirit leads you to pick up the Kybalion instead, I say go with the Kybalion, okay? Don't just pick it up just because I'm saying. I wanted to do my book review video instead of giving you guys one video with the whole list of books that I've read. I wanted to kind of break it down so you guys can get a little bit more interest to see why am I suggesting this book to you. Okay, so down below up underneath the video in the description box, I am going to be putting a link directly to my website. If you guys don't want to wait for me to break these books down and really tell you guys why I'm suggesting each book, there is a page on my website that has a list of all, well not all, but a lot of the books that I have read along my journey, amongst other books that's outside of spirituality, about business and the laws of attraction and things of that are listed on my website. So you guys can go directly to my website and you can pick and choose any of these books that I'm putting inside of this particular playlist. So yeah, I hope that this video was informative, and I look forward to seeing you guys' comments down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and push the bell notification. If you don't push that little bell, YouTube will not tell you when I upload a video. So make sure you turn on your notifications as well. Subscribe, comment down below, interact with me. I want to hear what you guys think and whether or not you have actually read either of these books. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.